That was Sell Your Soul by Wolves. And joining us now from the band, A.J. Diaferio. Is that how you say your name, sir? Did I get it?
That's one of the ways to say it. I like it.
Which is a code word no. But Fred, A.J. from Wolves, welcome to Pulse of the Maggots. We're so happy to have you on, my friend.
I'm so stoked to be here. This is awesome. So
Yeah. And I know that you are, just getting back from a convention and like all sorts of tired and busy, but that busy is always a good thing.
busy is a great thing. Lack of sleep is not, but busy is a fantastic thing, and I'm very thankful and appreciative that I'm this exhausted. It's great.
Fuck yeah. So like, let's kick off. Like, obviously, we want to talk about the video and the album and everything like that. But I'm curious. Since the beginning of heavy music, rock music, like even if you're thinking about Black Sabbath and stuff like that, right? Horror and metal have been intertwined, like almost from the inception. I'm curious on what initially drew you to the genre, what initially drew you to horror, and why you guys have decided to like meld these two things together.
That's actually a fantastic question. So my love of horror began with the fact that like I was always in the VHS store, like trying to I would just naturally gravitate toward the horror movie section. My grandma would tell my dad, and my dad would never let me see these things. And then one day, I'm like, I think I was like maybe 4 years old or 5 years old, and my dad was like, "You want to see a scary movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we were from New Jersey, so we had like one of those like fully furnished basements, and so he put me down there, turned the lights on, and popped in a VHS copy of American Werewolf in London. And ever since the first time seeing that transformation scene, it changed my entire life. I
Wow.
was instantly locked into horror, and I craved more. That feeling, that on edge, scared. It's one of the first memories that I have of like childhood, and I don't know. I just kept chasing that rush, so it was constantly going back and forth and like discovering things like Halloween and discovering Nightmare on Elm Street and discovering uh, Hellraiser and what have you, and so on and so forth, and just falling down this massive rabbit hole. And growing up, you kind of like you don't really know what music is. You know what you like, you know what your parents show you, and you know what your friends are telling you to listen to. And over the course of time, you start developing your own like tastes and what makes you like feel good and whatever. So it's one of those things like the first time I ever saw like Marilyn Manson or Rob Zombie or people of that, like I didn't know what to think, or even Slipknot. I didn't even know what to think at that time in life. And I just remember it gave me the rush that I was looking for. It was scary, it was intense, but at the same time it was just I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know that you could put horror and metal together, but it works so well. You look at like Slumber Party Massacre 2. I mean, the killer in that is as a fucking rock star. And it's one of those things like horror and metal go together. I just came back from a convention where horror and metal was a thing, and the reception was fantastic. And so when it came time to create Werewolves, the idea of it, I didn't want to do the same boring thing. And a buddy of mine who's on our album, Spencer Charnas, he actually showed me that you could mix the two together. I've seen it firsthand work with like Slipknot or Rob Zombie, and it's just I wanted that. I wanted that so bad. I wanted to take turn this band into a hodgepodge of my favorite things, which is like comedy, comic books, horror movies, and I force feed it down my band's throat, and they put up with my bullshit.
Hell yeah. And I think that's evident, all over this record and the videos that you guys were putting out as well. So you mentioned, Cori, I'll let you get in with the question because you mentioned Spencer. I was going to bring that up a little bit later in the interview, AJ, but I figure we can get to it now. But Cori, I wanted you to step in case you had something before that.
Actually, I do have a follow up to the one thing you just said about, mixing all these different elements with the comedy and the horror, but at the same time you're tackling very serious topics, but in a funny way, like especially with this video, which I was saying in the green room is like one of my favorite videos of this year because it's absolutely hilarious. But it is dealing with this, very heavy topic of, selling your soul for material gain. And then one of your other tracks, Fall With Me is still, it's extremely serious. So how do you find the balance of when you're going to bring in that humor and when you don't?
The song tells me. The song tells me everything I need to know before I even get in to start writing the words. Usually, I know a lot of people. I'm not a good guitar player or anything like that. Like I leave that up to the band. I let them kind of do whatever the hell they want to do, and I figure out how to make it work with us. And so when they show me stuff, I'll go, this is going to be horror. This is going to be comedy. Like, for example, there's an acoustic track on the album at the end of the record featuring Rain Paris. And I can definitely tell you there may be a comedy music video coming from that because you wouldn't expect it. It's something that the song has to tell me what it is. And then I try to find a way to either make it serious or make it tongue-in-cheek. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Awesome. And then Stay Left, you had your question.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Step on you.
No, it's fine. And that is another good segue for that. Because speaking of tongue in cheek and, the Sell Your Soul video and things like that. I came across this just a couple of weeks ago, and there was a little bit of disconnect when I was reading like the press release and everything like that, because I saw that Spencer was on the record, and then I saw the video, and after you mentioned horror and metal, just like Ice Nine Kills at their last two albums, right? And like the Silver Streams 2 that just came out. I actually thought that was Spencer in the video at first because of all the makeup and everything like that and the way that it looked like. And I was like, oh yeah, they really got him to like go crazy with this. But that's just y'all. But I'm curious, since you said that Spencer and that he guests on the album and everything like that, what has that relationship been like with y'all? How did that develop? And kind of like, what has he helped you with may not be the right word, but as far as like kind of like brought you along or like shared with you from his experiences to help you guys move forward?
So it's a funny story. Spencer and I met back in 2008. Ice Nine Kills had been following the tour. Well, really, he had been following the tour with like his old management or old label. And I just met this kid who was walking around just selling CDs out of his backpack. I was doing the same exact thing. And we would just meet up and talk about like our sales for the day. And then we'd get into like horror movies and stuff like that. And, it was one of those things we didn't really think much of it. We were just like two dudes who just enjoyed each other's company. And, after that, I never saw him, but we kept in touch. We always like would text randomly about like various different horror movies that were coming out over the years. And then Ice Nine Kills started, blowing up. And I just sat back and watched all this and watched a kid that at one point in my life, our paths had crossed, and I started watching like the development. And of course I'm going to ask him questions, and he was always just right there ready to answer whatever question I threw at him. And like, in a weird way, he kind of just like mentored me without even realizing that he was mentoring me, just like bestowing like just a genuine friendship. It was one of those things, like, I remember the day Silver Scream came out. We through touring, we'd meet up, we'd hang out, we'd talk. He's had dinner with my wife and I, and it's been great. But when Silver Scream came out, that was a game changer. And I asked him, I was like, what is this? And he was like, he basically said in a way like, dude, this concept record, it's just how I'm going to write music from now on. And it made me sit back and go like, I want to do something like that. I want to do something that feels greater than myself, and something that I can really like flex my love of just, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And put it together in some type of hodgepodge where it doesn't feel like I'm trying to be great value Ice Nine Kills,
Mm-hmm.
Something where it can be my own identity and take what he's doing and make it like an inspiration. And, I put this record together with a various collection of awesome individuals. And when it came time, we had some minor band member issues. And I remember we had gone in and started reworking the record. And I had mentioned to Brian from Fame on Fire, who's our producer, and features on a lot of stuff with us.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned to him, like, I don't know, you think I should ask Spencer? And he's like, why would you not? And I'm like, I guess I could do that. So I hit him up, and he was like, I would absolutely like to do this. He's like, sure, man. He's like, for you? Yeah. And it's cool because it's one of those things that's like, it's full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like almost kind of like my friend just kind of co-signed my band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's been nothing but generous and just awesome. And, you know, my name is on the cover of Outburn on an issue that he's the cover of. I mean, it just happens that way. And you can't explain it, but I'm so thankful that someone as highly creative and intelligent as that man and driven, calls me a friend.
That AJ, that's an amazing story, 100%, and I just love seeing the genuine emotion in your voice and like how much this means to you. And your segues, by the way, my friend, like you're doing all the work for me because that like leads into everything what I was going to ask next, which is just about the album. Like, first of all, congratulations. Albums don't come around every day. Debut albums are a hell of a thing, right? So congratulations first and foremost for getting that out there and getting your vision and your art to the masses in the world. I'm wondering, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but like, what was it like to make and record and create this album? And it was, I don't know, just because of the timing, right, and where you all are as a band. I don't know if the pandemic hindered you all or helped or hurt or anything like that in there. But just what was it like creating this your debut album?
I was having this conversation with my publicist. Because we were writing the Outburn article together. And she was looking for a tag to tie the whole thing in to bring to Outburn. And I told her this was truly an album about hell that was written in hell. Because not only did we went into the conception of this record with an idea. And I didn't know how it was going to go. And I was in originally with a different lineup, minus my flagship member, Jeremy. He's my partner. He's been there since day one. And Brian's been there with us since the EP. So we went in just kind of going with a couple extra dudes, just going like, here we go. We're going to try to make a record. And we had a whole bunch of roadblocks. We had like a producer try to come out and write a song with us, and it just didn't go well. I'm not going to get into the details of that.
Sure.
And then we had some ego issues with another like ex-guitar player who kind of wanted to take over the band, wanted to invest nothing into the project, but wanted to like utilize it as a springboard to kind of like his own personal gain. So we had to deal with that. That fell apart. We lost two of the members of the band. The songs kept going through rewrite. And it was one of those things where it was just so mentally taxing on my mental health. And here I was just trying to like write an album about all these different sins and sinners and trying to have like a good time while doing it and while coping with all the stuff that's going around. And then it was one of those things like, here we go. We finally got it done. We had to re-record like all the vocals over again. And it was one of those things, the pandemic didn't hit until after the record had been finished. Mm-hmm. And then we got into some legal issues with the next band member. So we actually got an opportunity to add one last song to the record toward the end, which is Life of a Parasite, which may or may not be about a couple different people that impacted my life at that point in time. So during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, before the pandemic actually hit, we had just shot Fall With Me and Sell Your Soul. Or no, Fall With Me and Wasteland. Those were actually back-to-back in 2 days. One was a 14-hour shoot. The other one was a 10-hour shoot. One was in an abandoned mall, and one was at like my friend Tommy's dad's house. So we had shot back and forth. then nothing happened for a little while. You know, we kept going back on mixes, going back in to do covers. We did Before I Forget, Slipknot, during the pandemic. We did Bodies during the pandemic.
Yeah, your covers are out of control, my friend.
It's just working with the right people. Like Brian from Fame on Fire is just so. I can't even tell you. He's just got like this knack for music, and he just knows how to take like someone else's song. Not saying that anything about him doing covers. Like, you know, he's not a cover band guy,
right?
But he can take a song and just find the things that are missing from it and just put it in. He's genius. So then we got the opportunity to do Sell Your Soul in peak COVID with all of those people in all of those locations. It was pure insanity, like trying to tie this all together while wearing a devil prosthetic on my face, dancing around like I was the Venga Bus guy. Remember the Six Flags dude? Yeah, that's how I felt for 3 days straight, back to back, shooting all that. So, you know, we had management at the time. The management kept like postponing all these things that we wanted to do. We just couldn't take it anymore. Like it was a wild ride, that whole album. So for you guys to say that it, like, you know, that you like all the stuff and you appreciate the music videos like that. Here.
I don't like it. I love it. I don't like it. I love this video because you can just see the amount of effort that went into it. It's very apparent. Aww.
Look at this.
I'm gonna get all emotional.
Can we get some
too.
hearts in the chat for AJ, my friend? The fucking work that this dude has put in, getting a debut album out. Hearts in the chat, everybody, if you're listening.
I'm sorry.
Great. Now I'm gonna get all misty. You're gonna make me show actual emotion, and that's not something I do.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
No,
man, don't apologize. Like that. This is
at all.
Yeah, and this is what I think. Like why this band appeals to a lot of people, right? Because you're being genuine with it. Like a fuck ton of work comes in, and I remember a Stephen King quote from On Writing, which is like, if you are giving anything to an art, you have to give like literally everything. And I think that is what is paying off with you right now, my friend.
Yeah, I put everything. I put everything that I had. I pushed my relationship with my wife to the side for this. I didn't see my parents for a long period of time for this. I had to meet new friends and beg people to be part of this project for this album. And I had to deal with everybody's schedules, and I put everything I had, everything that was me, into this album. That's why, like I say, it's an album about hell, written in hell. It was fucking hell writing this album, but the response has just been amazing. And to hear you guys, like people who listen to countless amazing albums that have come out over the course of, like, you know, this year, you know, this time in the pandemic really spawned some incredible albums, and the fact that you guys could say such nice things, like, means the world to me.
Absolutely. And it was getting some love in the chat as well. I don't know if you saw that or not, but yeah, I mean, it's hitting a chord with everybody. And it's just one of those things that, like, I mean, kind of bringing it back to the whole horror movie vibe, right? I mean, like, you, my friend, are way more into horror movies than I am, right? No matter what. And I know that there are some of those movies to where it's just like, fuck it, you just want to, like, you know, sit down and have a good time and just like forget about everything, right? While sometimes that there's some like messages in that, and I think that you can do this with this album when there's like, okay, I can put this on and have a fucking bop, and then if we go into the lyrics, there's actual stuff in there as well. Other than if we just want to fucking like dance around with Sell Your Soul or something like that, you know.
Well, that was the thing. It was creating something that's fully submersive. By the way, you're talking about good segues. That was a fantastic segue because you just dried this face up. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, no, I wanted to make something fun, man. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, there's a stigma in metalcore and rock and roll, and that everything has to be so serious. And yeah, you gotta have your serious songs, but at the same time, like, you're trying to create something to help people escape while you're trying to escape. So you want to, I don't know, from lyric to music to visual, you just want to create something that can fully submerge someone, and then you get to perform it live, and then you try to bring that energy and that aura to life. It's all encompassing. And like I said, like I bring up Ice on Kills again, but I mean, fucking proof's in the pudding. Like, Spencer is a fucking genius, and it inspires me to try to do that. Try to be 100% authentically myself and put everything that I love into the project, because if I believe it, maybe someone else will believe it.
Well,
Does that
you
make sense?
definitely make us believe it. So, I mean, and we're like the ultimate authorities, right, John?
I wouldn't say that, but like let's say that right now while we're on air to
Yeah.
like
Well,
give us a set of authority for that. But like otherwise, like
You
I'm
guys
just
definitely
a
have
music
the
nerd with an
authority.
internet connection. Like honestly,
I'm just a random redhead that John found, and I don't even know how I got here. No.
I like I say that like I found you on like the street or something like that.
Well,
Just
you
put
could
that
have.
from the window.
Yeah. Core, did you have anything else to ask AJ?
Before I get into my awesome final question, do
Yes,
you
the
have
big
anything?
pressing question.
I have the big pressing question, but I'll let you ask your questions first.
Oh no, I mean I think
Okay.
I think I'm all set. Like
Okay,
honestly,
cool. The big pressing question that is the most important question. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Ooh, it's come on, it's Velociraptor.
we ask everybody this, and
We do.
the you honestly would be surprised at the amount of responses with that. Usually, about most of the time, it's that same one that you had was Velociraptor. That is what it goes. But we've had like 3 pterodactyls over the past like couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Lots of
see,
T
they just
Rexes.
want to soar.
Yeah.
The soar
Yeah,
and attack things.
just want to fly, man.
All right, and then one more, just because of the poster on your wall right above your head.
Which
What's
one?
your favorite scary movie?
What's my favorite scary movie?
Exactly.
Whew.
You got Ghostface. I gotta ask.
I mean, my trying to pick one is hard. I can pick top 5, but if I had to pick one, it's the one that made
The
me
one that
fall in
started it
love,
all.
and it was the one that made me name my band.
Mm-hmm.
After the scariest thing on the face of this earth, man turning into monster and having to live with remorse. It's American Werewolf in London. That movie is perfect. It is the first horror comedy that ever made me go like, cool, you can do that.
It's so good, man, and to this day it still holds
Cold.
up. Like it
Cold.
was made yesterday, man. It's so good.
I just watched it like a couple of days ago. It's just it hits all the right things always. Like nothing beats that theater scene. That is one of the most horrifically hilarious scenes in a film. Like Jonathan Landis killed that whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that him and his son are actually looking to do like a direct sequel to it.
Oh shit.
That could be fantastic or horrible. I'm here for it though.
Yeah, you're gonna see it either way.
American Werewolf in Paris.
Oh man, amazing shit. I think that's about all that we had time for. But AJ, what a fantastic conversation, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have you back at some point. Just like keep in touch, man. Let us know what's going on. All good stuff, man.
Absolutely. I added you on Instagram, so I'll DM you.
Fuck yeah, we'll do it. We'll be DM buddies now. Amazing shit. Everybody, Evil Things came out this Friday. Werewolves' debut album. Mazza had the link for it in the chat. Go pick it up. Go listen to it. Go buy it. Go spin it. Do all the things with it. AJ, congratulations on the debut album, and we're looking forward to following your career and seeing what else Werewolves brings up next.
I just want to thank you guys one last time. Like seriously, like this is the best way to end this weekend. Like thank you.
You are absolutely welcome, my friend. Get some sleep, dude.
I'm going to pass out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. All right, amazing stuff. Take it easy, my friend.